Yeah, hello everyone. Sorry for that. I'm here in Chile, so yeah, we might have a little bit of an error in the signal. So I'm Camilo Aviles. I'm the unit of the New Energy Carriers unit of the Ministry of Energy here in Chile. So I will talking about our green hydrogen strategy and our investment opportunities on behalf of the minister and experts here in Chile. Yeah. So let me put my presentation right in complete view. So as some of you have said before, right? The world is trying to reach net zero emissions, and also here in Chile, we are a small country. However, we are committed to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. So in that case, we are committed to that plan, and of course, we are trying to do like something very urgent, and we are trying to decommission all our coal power plants by 2040. We are keen on doing this like in a faster way. So we are trying to achieve 50% of decommissioning by 2025, and we expect that the 20% left may be before 2040. So that will depend on obviously on security standards and how our matrix like works without the coal power plants. So just one fact, in this year, in 2021, we are doubling our solar and wind capacity. So we are adding 6 gigawatts of renewable resources. We know that to produce green hydrogen, we will have like more than 50 gigawatts of green energy. So we're going to that, and we're working hard to achieve our goals. We know that carbon neutrality and to achieve like net zero emissions is a hard task. And we know that coal decommissioning as sustainable building, electromobility, sustainable industry, energy efficiency, and also forest carbon capture play a key role, right? But we can't do it without the green hydrogen. It will account for almost 21% of the emission reduction. So we're keen on working with the industry, and green hydrogen holds the key to reach our goals. We know that green hydrogen, I mean, hydrogen is not new. It's been with us since the first days. Historically, it has been used from fossil fuels in processes that emit greenhouse emissions, and it's mostly being used in chemical industries, right? Refineries and refining processes and of crude oil. But of course, we know that the potential of the green hydrogen in terms of how it can decarbonize the industry, it's huge, right? So if we can see in the chart on the right, we know that green hydrogen can play a key role in petrochemical industry, in transportation, maritime transport, right? Chemical industry, steel, and other industries, right? Also in heating and cooling. So there are a lot of uses for green hydrogen, and obviously it will depend on the demand, on how fast do they decarbonize. But we are going to that, and we know that the green hydrogen will play a key role. So most of the countries are getting on board, and almost 90% of global GDP has put forward hydrogen support policies or initiatives. And we know that in this decade, the industry will start to grow. Of course, by 2050, we expect that the 18% of the final energy demand will be from green hydrogen demand uses. And in that, of course, as I said before, there will be transportation, heating and residential uses, industry, new uses, and existing uses, right? So the green hydrogen economy is building momentum. There are more than 240 projects that have been announced in these last days, months, weeks, and that number is increasing every day. And obviously there are projects for different uses in refinery, ammonia, power, methanol, in transport, infrastructure projects. So, every day the numbers, the figures change, and also the capacity of what we project, right, of electrolyzers changes every day. So if you can see the chart on the right, it says just that in less than 9 months, the projection of the capacity of electrolyzers like increase in by two folds just in 9 months. So this is huge, and we know that we have to take into account that, and we have to harness that potential. And here in Chile, of course, we know that, and in November of the last year, we released our national green hydrogen strategy with President Piñera and Minister Llobet. And some of you may not know a lot of Chile, but we are a long and narrow country, like we are in the south corner of the world. However, we are privileged with abundant renewable resources. We have very good solar resources and very strong winds, right, in the south overall. So we're expecting to achieve like the most competitive levelized cost of renewable electricity in the next few years, and to achieve like almost $50 per megawatt hour by 2050 in the north of Chile. And if we compare, right, with other potential hydrogen producers, we can see that our capacity factors and related to solar PV projects are around 37%. And of course, our strong winds onshore almost reach the capacity factors of those wind farms that are located offshore, right? So we have huge potential. We are in a narrow territory, but obviously that ensures us that we are close to port infrastructure, and we don't have to travel long distances to be in the ports, right? So latest estimations put Chile around $1 of kilogram of hydrogen by 2030. We are keen on achieving that goal, and of course we have some hubs in the territory, the center, the south, and the north. And we see that in the south of Chile, we will be producing the lowest hydrogen in the world. So, obviously we are expecting that, but we have to act now, and there are a lot of things to do. And also, despite distance to market, Chile remains competitive in the green hydrogen market, right? We are expecting to transport our molecules, right, our energy carriers, our feedstocks to Australia, to Korea, Japan, to Europe, to Russia, I don't know, like we're like finding our off-takers, and we are trying to reach like everyone that wants to be involved in this industry. And of course, we know that the carriers that will play a key role will be liquid hydrogen, green ammonia, e-fuels, and green copper and other green exports, right? And of course, Korea will play a huge role for us, along with Japan, and obviously UK, United States, and some countries from Europe. So for easier to transport derivatives such as ammonia, Chile has a clear cost advantage, because as we know that to transport ammonia, we can use the existing infrastructure. You don't have to do too much in terms of to build. You don't have to build like other types of infrastructure. And we know that ammonia will play an important role in this decade. Yeah. So we know that in this decade, at least, we will try to increase the domestic demand. Of course, we want to be like an important producer here in Chile, and later in the next decades, from 2030, we will exporting most of our production to different destinations, right? So by 2050, we're expecting like to have almost $24 billion, right, on exports, and $9 billion on domestic applications. So the competitiveness of Chile in renewable energy production and the global need for clean energy carriers will open the door to the creation of an economic sector that could rival the size of the Chilean mining sector, right? Mining sector for us is one of our most important industries, and we know that green hydrogen could play a similar role. So we have to act now. And of course, now once again, just trying to talk about Korea, South Korea, obviously. The addressable market for green hydrogen and derivatives produced in Chile exceeds $20 billion in 2030, and Japan, Korea, they represent almost roughly a quarter of that. So, you know, you know that Europe, Japan, Korea, United States, and other countries will be very important for Chile, and we are keen on establishing MOUs with such countries, right? So we have developed a long-term strategy with broad political support. Everyone here in Chile is keen on achieving the goals of the national strategy. We have an advisory board comprised by very important people, politicians, experts, economic experts, and also we have green hydrogen ambassadors, people that have worked in related industries, and you know, we received several advices from them here in the Ministry of Energy in Chile, and everyone is involved, and we are trying to get on board, you know, and like we want everyone to be involved in this industry here in Chile. So we have developed a path to a participatory strategy. We had interinstitutional roundtable. We had technical roundtables. As I said before, we had an advisory board that we formed, that we created. We had citizen workshops in which several people from NGOs and citizen associations could talk to us and ask questions about the hydrogen and such things like that. And obviously we had a public consultation in which obviously the National Green Strategy was like received some critical, some things that were changed because of these opinions, and now we have a final document which is presented here, and obviously it has more details, but this presentation summaries the most important ones, right? So we have set clear goals to lead the way, at least in 2025. We're expecting to have, we are aiming 5 gigawatts of capacity related to electrolyzers. And by 2030, we're aiming a levelized cost of production of hydrogen lower than $1.5 per kilogram. So it's going to be the cheapest green hydrogen on the planet. We know that we can do it because we have the resources, the solar and the strong winds. And obviously we want to be one of the leaders in the production of green hydrogen by electrolysis. So we're aiming 25 gigawatts of electrolyzer capacity by 2030. So this decade is like the crucial one, but I know with a lot of certainty that we can achieve that. And also we have defined an action plan to cover 8 key fronts in terms of strategy and targets. We know that regulation and permits play a huge role because we have to develop a clear, stable, and current regulation on markets and safety issues. The coordination and alliances obviously are also very important. The value chain development, the incentives and financing. You know, we are not a rich country, and that's sometimes it's kind of a problem. But as we have developed like stable markets related to electricity market, for example, there are a lot of investors that have came to Chile and they have developed projects. So we know that won't be a problem in terms of incentives and financing. So infrastructure also is very important, research and development, and also human capital. We don't want to just export molecules and to developers and enterprises to get benefits of that. We want to give our citizens also benefits, and that's because we are like developing the human capital here, and we have to develop local talent and technical capabilities to accelerate project deployment and generate green jobs. So this opportunity will unveil in 3 distinct waves. The first one will be focused on domestic applications, right? And the second and third one will be more focused on exports, right? And that could be ammonia in this decade, of course, and later will be liquid hydrogen or other forms of hydrogen, right? So in terms of the wave 1, local applications will ramp up hydrogen demand and activate a domestic industry. So which applications will play like the most important role will be oil refineries, of course, ammonia industry, how we can reconvert, or we can have mining haul trucks with green hydrogen, also heavy duty tracking, long range buses, and of course, blending into gas grids and up to 20%, because that's like the number that we know that natural gas can still like behave as natural gas. So the break-even of these applications will be achievable not beyond 2035, 2037. Okay. And about wave 2 and 3, it will be more focused on exports. And as I said before, green ammonia will play a huge role in this decade. Then afterwards, it will be more flat, like will be stable. And of course, green hydrogen exports in terms of liquid hydrogen will be further developed and will be the carrier that will be exported to other destinations. So wave 2, we will leverage our domestic base, right, from the wave number 1 to scale into a key player in export markets. And wave 3, we will exploit synergies and economies of scale to expand as a global supplier of clean fuels. So our destinations will be Europe, China, Japan, South Korea, US, and LATAM as well. So as you can notice, Korea and Japan, they will receive, or at least we're expecting that they will receive a lot of our green hydrogen production in the near future. So just to, like, the end is coming. I mean, in the last 6 months, we have the first call for financing projects and related to $50 million. We have a Clean Technology Institute that is valued around $265 million. We have MOUs with Singapore and Port of Rotterdam. We have a declaration of interests with UK, with France, with Germany as well, and with Port of Amber. And obviously we are keen on signing more MOUs with important countries, South Korea, of course, and also we have developed 3 guides in a way to have a fast track piloting for green hydrogen projects, and we have released and we have published an energy efficiency law, which declares hydrogen as a green molecule. So that's for me now. Thank you all, and thank you for having me here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.